Hey, what's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here. Welcome back to another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Welcome back to my official website, LeighTDickey.com, and the Beats and Speaks YouTube channel. But like I said, we're here for another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. And on today's episode, I want to tell you guys about some bad regifting ideas and share specifically one bad regifting story, one that sticks out in my mind as probably the worst regift that I have gotten. And just to be clear, I have no problem with regifting. I have given regifts, I have gotten regifts. I understand that you can't always go out and buy something brand spanking new for somebody or whoever around the holidays, whether it's that special somebody or family, friends, whatever, what have you. But, you know, you could always just go the route where you make something for them, something of sentimental value. I like doing that. But then again, most people these days don't know what sentimental value is. Well, they don't know what value is unless it's something brand spanking new. And it costs a fortune. But that's another story for another time. But bad regifting ideas and bad regifting experiences, that's what's happening today on the Beats and Speaks podcast. But before we get into all that, I just want to get some housekeeping out of the way. Of course, you can find the Beats and Speaks podcast on my official website, LeighTDickey.com, on YouTube, on the Beats and Speaks YouTube channel, and on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio. You can also find the Beats and Speaks podcast now on Android and everywhere else fine podcasts are available. But now that that housekeeping is out of the way, let's get into this episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast, talking about bad regifting ideas and me sharing a bad regifting story. So, bad regifting ideas, things with holes in them. You would think that that's a no-brainer, but I've seen people give gifts with holes in them to people. Do not give gifts, even if it's a regift or it's something you found on a shelf, because there are manufacturer defects where things happen and something goes wrong or whatever. You punch a hole in something or something tears, you end up with a giant gaping hole the size of the Grand Canyon in this gift that you were going to give somebody. You shouldn't buy that and give it to somebody as a gift, whether it's around Christmas or their birthday. Just don't do it. Not good. It's not going to end well. They're probably going to hate you, even if it is the holidays. They're going to judge you hardcore, okay? Don't give somebody something as a gift, whether it's Christmas, birthday, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, a civic holiday. Don't do it. Don't give somebody something with a hole in it as a gift. Just don't do it. It's not good, not going to end well, and you're not going to have any friends. And that's not good, because I want you to have friends, and we all should have friends because we're sociable people. And therefore friends are a necessity, right? For us to be social, anyhow. I'm getting ahead of myself and getting off topic. But you know, other things that you shouldn't give as regifts, certain things, like, say somebody gets you like a necklace or a bracelet or anything. Don't get them the same thing that they got you. Or don't give them back the gift that they've got you. Yes, I've seen that too, where somebody's gotten like a ring or a bracelet or a necklace, and the person that gave it to them, you know, they're exchanging gifts and whatever, and the person that originally gave them that, say, piece of jewelry or whatever it was, gets that same piece back from the person that they originally gave it to. Not gonna end well, man. Like, fists are gonna fly, hair is gonna be pulled out, and you're not gonna have friends again. Like, and there's that word. Like, we need friends because we're sociable people, okay? So don't give people gifts with holes in them. Don't re-gift them something that they've already given you. It's just not good, okay? Not a good look. You shouldn't do it. And that's just some advice from Leigh Dickey, alright? I'm not speaking from experience because I haven't given anybody a gift with a hole in it, or I haven't given somebody a gift that they've gotten me back for like their birthday, Christmas, or any other holiday that's out there. I haven't done that because, let's be honest, I have a little more imagination than that. And that's the thing when it comes to giving gifts around Christmas time. You don't have to spend a fortune, but you do have to use some ingenuity and a little imagination. Okay? Now, this bad regifting story that I want to share is actually from an old family friend, and, well, I doubt that they listen to this podcast, but it's an old family friend who, you know, I mean, I understand that around Christmas time, cookies, cakes, food is a big gift, and, you know, you can tell by looking at me that I will never turn down food, whether it's free or I have to pay for it. Food is food, and I will eat it. Okay? Whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger. At least that's the idea, isn't it? Unless you're allergic to it, then just stay away from it. Okay? But I'll never turn down food if it's at Christmas time or I'm just having dinner or a meal or a snack or whatever. But this old family friend, and bless them, you know, they're great people. But I could tell that it was a regift. Granted, it was it was probably like 3 or 4 days after Christmas, initially. And I had a buddy here, and this was one of the last boxes on the coffee table that we have in our living room, and it was a box of chocolates. Now, I know Forrest Gump, the whole Tom Hanks, his life was like a box of chocolates. Yeah, the box of chocolates that we happened to get and break into, just opening it up because it was one of the last things and it was something to snack on, and it was the holidays and it was a gift. That box of chocolates, spoiled. I don't know what happened. You know, I'm sure it was a regift, and I'm sure it was at least a year, if not 2 or more years old. Because, well, I'm not sure how long it takes. Well, it shouldn't take milk that long to turn, or like the chocolate, the hardened chocolate, it shouldn't take it that long to turn, but I could tell that it was at least a year or 2 or more old. Now, this was about 3 or 4 years ago, right? So I had a buddy here. We're just chilling, we're watching TV, and we're actually just watching some sports or a movie or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but I do remember that I was like, you know what, here's some chocolates, you want some, we'll break into the box. Okay, it was a gift, like I keep saying, and we decided to open the box, right? Because he's a buddy of mine, and mi casa su casa, so long as you don't do any irreparable damage, I'll invite you into my house and I'll invite you over because you're a friend of mine, right? So, we opened this box thinking it's just a box of chocolates, and it was like fancy, I think, Belgian chocolate, right? Which was cool. I mean, I suppose that Christmas is the season for chocolates, cookies, Ferrero Rochers, which are awesome, by the way. If you want to get in my good books, get me a lifetime supply of that stuff, and I'll do whatever you want. Okay, those things are like gold to me. But you can tell I have a sweet tooth, by the way. So we open the box. Okay, we open the box, and we see chocolate. But the second we bite into them, and some of them had fillings of like cherry or some liqueur, I think, and not all of them were bad, don't get me wrong, because we did have a couple at least, but the majority of the ones that we bit into were, they were terrible, and I hate to say it, but, and I love this family friend for thinking of us, thank you, but the chocolate was spoiled. I guess the milk had turned, or the something in the chocolate had gone bad, where like you take a bite and it's like trying to eat spoiled milk or drink spoiled milk. I guess, again, like the milk in the chocolate had gone bad, and that's terrible. Granted, I know it's the thought that counts, and it's not about the gifts, but if you're going to re-gift something, make sure it hadn't gone bad. And like, let's be honest, I hate to be picky, and I'm not picky at all when it comes to gifts. I mean, it's a gift, and it's the thought that counts, like I said, but just because it's something that you didn't want a year or two or more ago, that doesn't mean it's a good idea to re-gift it all these years later. Because I looked at the back of the box, and it said a year, like the copyright seal on the box said a year that wasn't, I think this happened around 2013, 2014. So it said a year that was before that. I can't remember the year. It may have been 2010 or something like that. But I just remember thinking, oh, and I understand that Christmas is not about the amount of gifts, or it's not about the gifts in general. It's about the time you spend with your family and your friends and the memories you make, and possibly the food that you eat when it comes to certain things, if you are so inclined. But when we bit into those chocolates that were maybe 3 years old, maybe more, it just, oh buddy, I'm not even going to tell you what it did to our insides. It was terrible, because we were just like, okay, those had gone bad. Time to put them down. And I think we just ended up ordering a pizza or something, or like having some food of some substance, where we either ordered a pizza or I opened up the fridge and we just made food for ourselves, because the chocolates were like, okay, we're not doing that no more. And that sucks, okay? All I'm saying is that if you're going to give chocolates, make sure they're from the year that you buy them in, you know what I mean? And even then, I wouldn't buy them shortly before Christmas, not a year before, not 6 months, shortly before. That way, they don't go bad. And I understand that, you know, you can't always help that, but at least, like, stick them in a fridge. You know what I mean? Like, I tend to, with certain gifts, if it's food or chocolate or anything like that, I tend to just go, okay, let's stick the chocolates in the fridge, just because there is milk in most chocolate, if not all chocolate. And, you know, I don't want them to go bad, but I'm not going to buy them a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever prior to the year that I'm going to give them, and just go, or I'm not going to go through my cabinets and start thinking, oh, wait, I haven't eaten these, but let's give them to somebody because that's a good idea and Christmas is around the corner. It's not a good look. I'm just saying that it's never going to end well. It never does end well. And, you know, for this family friend, I'm sorry. I know it's the thought that counts, but those chocolates, man, not cool. And like I said earlier, it's not about the gifts. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality of the time that you spend with your friends and your family. But regifting a box of chocolates that you got years prior, not cool. You know what I mean? And I can tell you guys another interesting story. I used to be an auctioneer, and I would, you know, you'd hold auctions during the summer, and jokingly, mind you, okay, I used to just throw this question out there to the bidders, like, hey guys, I know it's June or whatever, it's the summer or it's the spring, because that's the hot time for an auction. And it's like, hey guys, so who's here to do some Christmas shopping? And keep in mind, most of the stuff at an auction is not brand new. It's slightly, or if not more than that, used. Well, even more than slightly used. Sometimes they're run into the ground. So jokingly, I said, hey, let's see who's here to do their Christmas shopping. And about half the crowd shot their hands up, and they're all like, me. And I'm like, oh, God. You guys buy things at an auction to give for Christmas. Like, unless this is a motor vehicle of some sort that you can get at a discount, you know what I'm saying? Cool, but, or if it's like quality furniture, I can see you giving it, I guess. But most of the stuff you'd see at these auctions, not re-gift worthy. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody says, I'm gonna just take this box of chocolates that they clearly had to blow the dust off of, and then put it in a bag, put some wrapping paper around it, and say, here, Merry Christmas. And then me and my buddy, we got into it a bit. Like, we started eating them, and the milk had turned, something else had gone, or something else had gone bad. I don't know. I'm not a chocolatier. The only thing I basically know about chocolate is most of it tastes good, and it's made from milk. So either the cows were on strike and they gave sour milk, or you had to blow the dust off that box and then stick it in a bag, put some wrapping paper on it, and you decided to give it to my family and I. Granted, and it had gone bad. It had spoiled. Not cool, not fun, but that's what happened. Okay, like, we got into some chocolates that were a gift. I mean, yes, it was a few days after Christmas, but we opened the box, we took a bite, because we're thinking, it can't just be one, like, maybe it's just that one chocolate, no big deal, right? Because I think there were 2 of every chocolate in that box, so there's like 2 cherry flavored, 2 orange flavored, 2 coffee flavored, you get the idea. But when there's 2 of every kind in that box, and they're all, most of them had gone bad, if not all of them. We didn't, decide to go through the whole box and torture ourselves that way. But that's what happened. Chocolate went bad. We ended up going with another idea, just to have a snack and get a little substance and actual food in us. But bad chocolates around Christmas time, not cool. Bad regifting ideas. Don't give people gifts with holes in them. Don't re-gift something to someone that's already given you that gift. And don't go to an auction to buy most things if you're going to give them as gifts, whether it's a birthday or Christmas. That's just some advice from me. But that's a story or several stories on bad regifting ideas from yours truly here on the Beats and Speaks podcast. And that wraps up another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. I have been your host, creator, producer, all-around nice guy, homie on the mic, Leigh Dickey. Thanks for tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. You can find the Beats and Speaks podcast on YouTube under Beats and Speaks. You can find the Beats and Speaks podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, my official website, LeighTDickey.com. And now it is available on Android, so subscribe there as well. And wherever else you can find the Beats and Speaks podcast, everywhere else podcasts are available, go find the Beats and Speaks podcast. Go subscribe, write a review, comment, like, share it, and that's it for this episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Again, I am Leigh Dickey. Thanks for tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. You can buy the equipment I use in my videos on the Beats and Speaks YouTube channel, on the podcast, the Beats and Speaks podcast, by clicking the affiliate links in the description below. All the links will also be in my blog and on my website, LeighTDickey.com. Check that out as well. But thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for watching. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Find the Beats and Speaks podcast wherever podcasts are available, on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, my official website, LeighTDickey.com, and on your favorite Android device now as well. All right, everybody, thanks again for tuning in, but we will see you all next time. All right, Leigh Dickey for Beats and Speaks, the Beats and Speaks podcast, Leigh Dickey style, and everything else I might come up with, the Lens of Leigh, the photography series I host once a month, signing off. All right, Leigh Dickey, out of here. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.